It's the Monday Technical Writing Clinic, and the topic for today's lecture is understanding the concepts of reference and bibliography for effective technical paper writing. We see our guest lecturer for today, Engineer Merity Kirigbe. He's on call. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for accepting our invitation and being with us today. We appreciate the sacrifice. Thank you very much, sir. So our agenda for today is as displayed on screen. We're going to have the opening prayer, the safety moment, the welcome remarks by our section chair. We're going to have the introduction of the guest lecturer. Then we'll have the presentation of the technical lecture by the guest lecturer for today. We'll have room for question and answer, vote of thanks, and a group photograph. And we'll call it a day for this lecture. Next on our agenda is the national prayer, which would serve as the opening prayer for today's lecture. So you can unmute, and at the count of 3, we'll just go and recite the national prayer. 1, 2, go. O God of creation,
God of creation,
direct our noble cause, guide our leaders right, help our youth the truth to know, in love
my honesty to grow,
and living just and
just
true,
and true,
great love
lofty heights attain,
to build a
building
nation
nation
where
and justice.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. Good to see we have a lot of people participating in today's lecture. So next, we're going to have our safety moment. Our safety moment is next. And please, for the duration of the meeting, if you are not speaking, kindly ensure your mic is muted so you don't interfere with the lecture flow. Also, if you're driving, we are strong on care and would appreciate you to please find a safe spot to park. If you insist you must attend this lecture, or you just hold on and we can share the recording with you for safety purposes. Also, if you have any question or anything you want to be answered during the lecture, please use the chat box or use the reactions by raising your hand and you'll be attended to. Thank you very much for adhering to this safety remarks. Next for the agenda is welcome remarks. And our section chair, who is no other person than Engineer Augustine Soro, is currently on transit, and he has directed the program's chair, Dr. Obi Obeta, to please give the welcome remarks on his behalf. So at this juncture, I'd like to invite our program's chair, Dr. Obi. Please, the floor is yours, ma'am. Sorry, you are muted.
Okay, confirm you can hear me now.
Yes, I can hear you now loud and clear.
I can also hear you too.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you very much. So on behalf of the chairman of SP Benin section, our own Engineer Augustine Soro, who is unavoidably absent today, I welcome every one of us to today's technical paper writing clinic. You agree with me that this is a topic every one of us should be and participate in. I can see our senior members here. I can also see YP, the young professionals and the students who are technical report writers in their various ways. I want to say a very big welcome to every one of us. As researchers, and of course as writers, we stand on the shoulders of giants, building upon existing knowledge. And of course, properly acknowledging these writers and these foundations is very critical. Very, very, very vital. So when writing technical papers, we often focus on content. In fact, the core researchers here can agree with me. The majority of the time we focus on content, we focus on structure, we focus on clarity. But there are two critical components that if we overlook them, they amount to make or break our work. And these components are references and bibliography. So today we'll be discussing why these elements matter, how to use them effectively, and of course, the common pitfalls to avoid when we are using them. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned researcher or it doesn't matter if you're an emerging writer. This conversation today will help you refine your skills. So I welcome all of us to sit back, sit tight, and listen attentively as Engineer Merit Ekeregbe shares this insightful lecture with us. Engineer Merit Ekeregbe he's a subject expert. So on behalf of the section chair again, I welcome every one of us to today's lecture. Thank you very much for being part of us.
Thank you very much, Program Chair Your Head. This is a program for all, so please keep dialing your friends, keep dialing your colleagues, so that we are not yet into the lecture far and they can still join us for this lecture. So our guest lecturer for today, who is our guest lecturer for today? Our guest lecturer is Engineer Merit Ekeregbe. He has achieved the prestigious SP Petroleum Engineering Certification Global Credential in 2021, becoming an SP Certified Petroleum Engineer. He currently holds the pivotal position of Senior Hydrocarbon Resource Analyst at Group 6 Asset, where he leads and makes critical decisions in supporting the NEPL offshore assets in production, reservoir studies, and exploration and development. He obtained a master's degree in petroleum engineering from the University of Houston, United States of America. Engineer Merit has presented numerous technical papers at events such as ATC, OTC, SP, Western Region Meeting in California, and NICE, covering various areas, including well testing and interpretation, hydraulic fracturing design and optimization, energy transition, and coiled tubing intervention, cost optimization in a dual completion lifting operation, among others. Additionally, he has authored several faith-based books and a satirical post titled The Errand of the Errant, all available on Amazon. He is highly self-motivated in the research and development of new and improved strategies in petroleum engineering. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you our guest speaker for today, Engineer Merit Ekeregbe, who I'm going to hand over this session to. Please, sir, the floor is yours for the next 45 minutes. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, thank you very much. Good afternoon, colleagues, and I want to especially welcome everyone to the discussion this afternoon. Can you please give me control of the slide?
Yes, sir, you have control, so you can go ahead and share your slide.
Oh, okay. I should share from here. Okay. All right, so we'll be discussing understanding the concept of references and bibliography for effective technical paper writing. My name is Merit Ekeregbe. Please confirm that you can hear me loud and clear.
Yeah, we hear you loud and clear.
All right, thank you. Also, on our discussion, we'll be talking on the concept of references and bibliography. What are the sources of references and the references styles? We'll do a little demo on generating citation, and thereafter we'll summarize and conclude for Q&A session. So is there any difference, is there any confusion between references and bibliographies? For references are actually as citations that are found within the context, within the text document of the write-up of a piece of work that you're actually working on. The essence is it acknowledges that the foundation you are building was actually laid by some other persons in the past, and you are looking at what they've done, the difference between what has emerged in terms of technology, information, or if there's any improvement that you have. So all of the claims that you put together to build your own foundation is actually what sources that you acknowledge. And one thing about references, when we put references at our work, we titled that session as references. It's actually a list of references. But for short, we can just say references. All right, so in a short way, references are citations. And on the converse, bibliographies are lists of sources that are consulted for research. They might be cited or uncited. Basically just acknowledges other people. And for others who want to do some further reading, they will look at also into the sources that you consulted while you were developing your work. References and bibliography have some things in common. One perspective to them is that they provide us with knowledge, historical knowledge, that has to do with evolution over the time. How did knowledge start, and where are we? What contribution other different authors have put together to bring us to the current state that we are. And one thing about references and bibliography, the totality of it all, you can look at a work and look at the references, and I will be able to tell the quality of work that you have actually put together. For example, if I'm dealing with word test interpretation, and I go to my references or I go to someone's references and I can't find Pegatin, it means that guy has not actually done nothing. Because there are subject experts in every area and discipline within petroleum engineering or in the oil and gas industry. So the totality of references that you put together in your work will actually determines what quality you have in there. The content over time that you are referencing is, you are referencing there because there is an improvement that you want to provide, and you are looking at the lapses that are in previous work. So that is some of the things that references and other sources actually provide unto us. And the content that we get from other references or bibliographies, as the case may be, they actually borrow thought in the sense that no man is an island. You are building on the previous work that has been done before you, and you are bringing a new technology, a new innovation into play. So it's a borrowed thought that you're actually building on. It's not your own foundation. You are building on someone's foundation with an improvement. So this is what the similarity between references and bibliographies. Now, what are the sources of references and bibliography? One of the key sources of references and bibliographies are, one of them is online materials. This is most critical. This is the most widely used sources of referencing and bibliography. All right, so, but one thing that we must know here is, as much as many of the materials or sources that we want to consult are online, we must also apply caution to which one we need to use and what we don't need to use. For example, if you want to look at your quality, considering the quality of the work you want to present, you must be careful of the online materials, online sources that you use. Number one, you must look out for papers, technical papers that were peer-reviewed or they were published in journals. Not everything you find online are actually suitable. And number two, you look out for subject matter expert, irrelevant areas, what problem-solving technology or techniques they have applied, and what actually is practicable even in the industry as it is today. One other advantages of online material is that you have ease of referencing. I can go online. If I have any of the citation generator, what I need to do is just download the materials, and I'll be able to manage them using Reference Manager. All right, so another advantage of online resources is that for the fact that you can get a new knowledge update on on the such materials at no or minimal cost, right? So, for example, it's not the case with a hard test. For example, if I have a petroleum engineering textbook for 1960, and for the fact that it was a published book and they were using it in those days, and that is the only copy I have, there are several technology or techniques that have actually changed over time. And because I'm holding an older version that is not relevant to this use, I won't be able to have an updated knowledge. But online, resources are updated with time over time. And references and bibliographies are very easy to handle when using citation generators. For example, if you want to do that with hard copies, it's difficult actually to do. You just have to manually put them in place, and that is a cumbersome work. And one of the advantages of online resources is the fact that you can actually reference a work that you see on Google. If you have a citation engine or add into your browser, you can actually cite straight away from the Google website or from your browser, not having to download it, not having to save it first. But once you have all of this citation generator on your system, that can actually apply. Once again, I want to reiterate that while you look out for information and resources or materials online, it must be guided by the principle that those materials are actually stand the test of time in terms of they have been reviewed, where they have been probably also been published. All right, so these are categories of materials and resources that are that can put more quality and put reputation on your work. Another source of bibliography and references are hard copy texts, such as books. Hard copy, they are public, they are printed, journals, and etc. But the disadvantage is that they are difficult to research. For example, if I'm working on a topic and I had to deal with about 1,000 hard copied text, it will be difficult for me to go from one text to the other. But I can go through over 1,000 sources online with ease. There are some resident information that might not be correct for the fact that updating system with hard copy brings home extra cost. And if I need to get an updated version, what it means is that I need to dish the old version that I have, which is not like that online. You can update an online source, having not delete, having not don't bothering about whether you have to delete the old version. You can update it, and that comes alive. One greater disadvantage in application of hard copies is the fact that you could actually have an older version, thinking that whatever knowledge that the version that old text is carrying is actually relevant for today, but it's actually a disposed knowledge. So if you are carrying a disposed knowledge because that is the text that's available to you and you are bringing it to solve today's problem, you actually be a century back. So it also have this high cost demand, having to consult a lot of textbook, and you need to go to the market and acquire them, or probably you go to the library and you are moving from one shelf to the other, trying to sort out things. It's actually hard, have this cost inclination, either in cost of time or cost of money. We have other sources like special documentations and procedures and standards. Such special documentation comes in like government policy, organizational standardization, such like Standard Organization of Nigeria, American Petroleum Institute. All the procedures and manuals that are published, there are special documentations that you can actually reference. One other area is interview. I'll come back to conference proceedings. Interview, it could be recorded interview. It could be interview published in the national dailies or international dailies. Yeah, there are sorts of references. The last one on this list is the conference proceeding. Citing conference proceedings requires that we apply some little caution, in the sense that not every paper accepted at conferences are actually what they sought. All right. So many a times, if all the work you are, whatever you are working on, you are just depending on conference papers from about 25 references that are on your test, you have almost 20 of them from conference papers, and no one at all is from a published journal. That is not a good indication that you have actually done a thorough job. And that does not mean that all conference papers are not worth it. But a review paper, a peer-reviewed paper, or a journal published paper actually have an edge over all conference papers. And sometimes we also look at the subject matter expert. For example, if I pick up a conference paper that was done by Blessingemi, who is an author and once the SP president, many of the word test interpretation techniques that are applied real life in software and in the industry were done by him. And of course, by standing is a professor. So if you come across a conference proceeding paper from him, of course, is a subject matter expert, and of course, you cannot actually do that. So there's a checklist, a check that you can apply to all conference proceedings papers. For example, the work is a deviation from what has been, a deviation from other people's work, and if it is a deviation from what has been in the industry, is it logical? Is it scientifically sound? So these are just a check that you need to apply. We have different referencing style. The purpose of this slide is for us to know that while we are citing and choosing the different referencing styles, we must be aware that we must avoid reference clashes. What it means is that your listing style must also align with your in-text citation. What do I mean by that? For example, if I want to use a model language association, which is MLA, as my reference style, right? If I do in-text citation, I won't be allowed, or it will be a conflict if I decide to use Harvard in-text citation while I'm using listing style of MLA. Many of these cases where we have these clashes is as a result of when we manually do referencing. But that is what is well taken care of if we're using a citation generator, which provides us this seamlessly. And a certain bibliography will be done automatically. We have different referencing style. Few of them are presented on this slide, but most topically is the SP version. The SP version is actually probably a combination of Chicago and Harvard. All right, so if you have some takeaway from Chicago and you have some takeaway from Harvard, and there are different ways we can do in-text citation. We have this narrative citation, and we have also parenthetic citation. What I mean by narrative citation, for example, if I want to quote an author and say, okay, by 2021, I will use the narrative citation because I'm using the author as the subject of the sentence. But if I want to do a parenthetic citation, is for example, just to use, I could state what the author have said in his work and put the name of the author and the year in close parentheses. That is parenthetic citation. So there are several citation generators that we have in the industry all over the world that actually help us in putting together our papers and easily help us manage our resources. These are just few among the several hundreds that we have available there. Number one is Quibbot. We have Mendeley. We have Microsoft. We have Graffiti. We have EasyBib, and we have Bookend. There are several other generators. You don't need to know all of them, but just know the one you are used to, the one you can handle, and that will make your writing and enhance your writing skill. So we'll look at two type of citation generators here, which is Quibbot and Mendeley. All right, so if I'm using Quibbot, we could just go to online. Online, you can get all of this online. If you see if you see this other one that has a center, I don't know if you can see my cursor. So if, for example, if I'm using the clipboard, I'll go to the search portion and I can type in the title of the document or the resource material I'm looking for. I can use the website address. I can also probably use any other keywords that I can find that. For example, if I want to search for a paper published by Merit and others, and the title is Dot Bit Grading Using Video Intelligence. It was a paper that was published and it was presented at HEC. I could probably just go there and type Dot Bit Grading Using Video Intelligence. And there are several resources online that will pop up, and I will just look out for the author that I'm interested in, and click on it and cite. So Quickbot automatically provide you whatever citation style or referencing style that you need, and it will insert it in your references. In Mendeley, I find Mendeley as quite very interesting and more performance enhancing, in terms that it gives you room to do some resource management. If you download the Mendeley, you should be able to download the reference manager, Mendeley reference manager, and you should be able to also download the Mendeley site, which is an add-in to Microsoft Word or any of the Microsoft suite. Is also an add-in to browser. So if I have Mendeley site as an add-in to my browser, I will be able to cite straight away from online. So how do we use Mendeley? We just do a little demonstration this afternoon. You are required to download the generator app and create an account for it. Account require you with username and password. You also download the Mendeley site as an add-in to Word and the browsers. You download all subject matter resources that you think speak volume of what you want to work on. For example, if I want to work on the use of pseudo pressure, I just go online, go to OnePetro and download all relevant document material resources, even in Google Scholar, download them and save them to my local system, save them locally in my computer. And what I do, I don't do if I open the Mendeley Reference Manager, I would now upload them, all the documents that I would need to work on and research, consult into the Reference Manager. So with the Reference Manager, I will see all the materials and resources that I need to consult for my work. And once that is done on the Reference Manager, I will be able to manage all documents. So managing of documents in my Reference Manager means that sometimes when you upload the documents that you downloaded into a system, it might not carry the right author's name, and probably the portion for author, date of publication, whether it's a textbook, whether it's a conference proceeding, how many pages, which page did you consult, all of that information might be missing. So you manage those documents by putting in place all the relevant information that are required, so that by the time you want to make use of them on site, you won't have lapses or you won't miscite or have any issues with them. And again, there's something we call reference setting. Reference setting has to do with trying to check which of the references style you want to use. You can leave this, you can set it before you start, whatever, as far as you are using a citation generator, at any point in time that you want to change the references style, it automatically updates your page, your work, irrespective of the number of pages. For example, if I have 100 pages work I'm doing, I chose Chicago before, and now I would decide to use a modern language association. I don't need to do anything. I just go straight to the Microsoft, the reference, and change the references style, and that automatically updates everything in that work. And second thought to the last, you start your research, right? While you manage, you can actually go to the reference manager and start reading of relevant information. And as you are reading, most especially you use this referencing and bibliography from the literature review. providing background for your work, providing foundation for your work, where you want to build on. You are trying to look at the content that they are provided over the years. What are the lapses? What other improvement do you think could be done? What have they done wrongly? They may have claimed it was right and everybody celebrated them, but if you have a superior opinion and a newer version of technology, yes, you can challenge that. So that is the reason you are providing claim, either you are providing ground for critiquing, or you are providing claim to support what you have to present. And while you write, you do in-text citation, which we actually refers to as references, right? So like I said before, inside citation differentiates references from bibliography. Bibliography covers every source of material of information that you consulted, whether you use them in your personal work, whether they were cited or they were not cited. But in terms of referencing will only take the things that were cited in the body of your text. So once you start your writing, wherever you want to develop background of the works that have been done in the past, you do in-text citation. And when you are done, you do insert bibliography or reference list. And that actually puts an end, concludes all that has to do with referencing and bibliography. We'll try our hands with this. I know that we have a challenge of probably moving from one slide to the other, but we'll try and see how we can maximize this opportunity. So using Mendeley, which I picked as, I think it's more robust. I may not know of every other citation generators that are available there, but Mendeley is actually quite very robust. So step number one, we have discussed for the fact that you have downloaded, you have created an account, and you actually want to start writing. And if you have a Mendeley already, you have downloaded all the resources that you want to consult, and then you have moved them, saved them into the reference manager. Then you can start open the Microsoft Word and start developing your thoughts. So while you write your source, you are sourcing from the resources that you have put together. You are actually referencing, citing what others have done over the years, right? So if I pick something that once someone says, because I'm developing background for my work and I want to cite it, what I do is, one thing I need to also say here is that for the fact that you want to use Mendeley, you must ensure that Mendeley is on your Microsoft as an add-in. If you look at this second pane, you will see that Open Mendeley is there, all right? And you also have a site citation. So if you have not downloaded and put it as an add-in, it might not show up in your Microsoft Word, all right? So if I pick up something, I can click, I pick up, I've written something that's a background that is actually interesting to me, and I pick it up and I want to reference. I'll just click on the reference on the work or the Microsoft Word. So if I click on reference, I will click on inside citation. So when I click on reference, inside citation, it will take me to a pop-up window will appear with go to Mendeley. All right, so on it, we have library. On that library, you have different folders that you have created depending on which work are you actually working on. And when you click on Mendeley, go to Mendeley, it will go to the reference manager, which you see in number 4. Select the source and click Cite. So when it goes to the reference manager, you will see the different document resources that you have actually downloaded. And as a result of that, you select what document that you want to cite. And after you click on inverted, is it apostrophe or whatever you call it? If you can see my cursor, you click on Cite. This second before the X is the site. So when you click on that site, it will take the in-text citation back to the Microsoft Word that you are working on. So this is basically what it is and how it is to use Mendeley. So we'll do some little demonstration. I just hope that everything will work fine. So I'll open, confirm you can see my Microsoft Word.
Yes, we
Yeah.
can.
I can
Yes,
see.
we can. Yes,
All
sir.
right, okay. So
Yeah.
this is the topic I want to work on. The use of pseudo pressure in reservoir management, or the use of pseudo pressure in reservoir well testing operation. All right, so whatever it is. So if I start writing, I could say, okay, I have something like I've consulted other materials, and they said the concept of pseudo pressure has been worked on in several areas of petroleum engineering that I know, and the concept has become useful in gas well testing, which accounts for gas dependence on viscosity and compressibility. So the pseudo function can be used in ring gas flow problems to account for viscosity variation and Z factor with pressure, right? So if I have this as what I found out from other people's work, right? And I need to reference this, that the pseudo pressure function can be used in ring gas flow problems to account for viscosity variation and compressibility factor with pressure. So if I need to do this, I want to cite who made this statement. I'll click on a reference. If I click on reference, you can see inside citation. I'll click on it. It will take me, remember I showed us that there is a pop-up window that will say, go to Mendeley. I'm not sure you are seeing it, but on my screen here, I can see it. I discovered that when we are sharing it, you won't see it on your screen, but I've shared it previously. So if you click on reference and you click on inside citation, it will take you to the reference manager. It will take you to this reference manager. Can you see the reference manager?
Yes, sir.
All right. So now I want to that work that I've stated there was actually done by an author, right? And I want to cite the author by acknowledging his work. So if I go to back to the reference manager, click reference, go to Mendeley, it takes me back here. If I click on this, the second document was where I saw that statement, and I click cite. It takes, now because we are using Chicago Manual, let me change to American Political Science Association. You will see that it has actually cited answer, noise, and Blasey Game 2000. I don't know if you can see that screen. Can you see it?
What?
Can you see the Microsoft Word, the use of pseudo pressure in reservoir management? I've just clicked on go to Mendeley. I've cited Blasey Game on that word. Confirm you can see my screen, please.
Yeah, we can see, but I think it's hanging.
Okay. So that's a challenge of. All right, I don't know if you can see. What do you see on the screen now?
It's up now, the Word document.
All right, so you can see the reference, the in-test citation that I've done. Can you see the in-test citation? What I...
Yes, sir.
You can see it. All right, so this is how in-test citation using Mendeley's works, right? So I don't need to come here and start copying. I'll just go to reference and I click on start citation. And from there, it takes me to go to Mendeley. And from there, I can do other jobs. And there is, if I'm still building my work, one other thing I also discovered was that the pseudo pressure can be used in gas testing using dynamic material balance. All right, I can do that using dynamic material balance. And that is, the pseudo pressure can be used in gas testing using dynamic material balance concept. So how do I who said that? Who did that? I can still go to Insert, go to Mendeley, and click on the author that cited and click Cite. It comes here, and that is already cited. Okay, so you use that continuously to develop your content. This demonstration, the essence is just to see the simplicity of. So I don't know if you can see all of this. I've actually increased. I've increased the content on that page. Confirm that you can see it, please.
Yes, sir, we can see.
We can see, sir.
Okay, so now we have increased the what we have here. Okay, so continuously, if we want to read, we can say pseudo pressure can be used in gas testing using dynamic material balance concept, which was derived from analogous original material balance under fluid condition, whereby production is sustained while being able to determine original oil in place. So these are authors that actually contributed to all of that. Now, if I want to insert my list of reference or simply references, I don't need to come and start copying, right? So what I need to do is, this my references. I can come back here under reference on my toolbar. I will do insert bibliography. So if I click on insert bibliography, the references will be loaded by themselves. So I don't need to come and start worrying, okay, what should come first or what should not come first? How should I arrange this? You'll be worried when you do that manually. So for example, I can decide to change from APA to Chicago 16 edition, and it will automatically update. Now, for example, if I change to Vancouver, let me see. So all I need to do is just to look for the one I want to use. Vancouver. I think so. Right. Okay, so if I change to Harvard, I think it's frozen or something. So Chicago is frozen. So what the essence of all of this is, for example, the Vancouver method will probably just put one, will number these references, right? And instead of using the style of Vancouver is, instead of using this one, it will just put one because of the first reference. So when you see one in parentheses there, you know that it's referring to this first reference. All right, so this is all about using citation generators to do your work. All right. Summarily, so we have understood from the conversation is that the quality of your work actually depends on the quality of the references and the source materials that you actually worked on. All right. For example, if you want to build a house on someone who has already laid a foundation for two-story building, it is not possible for you to lay a bungalow foundation on a two-story building. The best that will happen is that, oh, you're actually on the third floor, right? So the quality of the references that you cited, of the sources you cited, also speak volume of the quality of your job. All right, so we must also recognize the fact that online materials are the most robust, but make use of materials that are proven subject matter experts, number one. Number two, materials that are scientifically and logical. Number three, online materials that are actually been peer-reviewed or published in journal. When we mean congruence, we are talking about the criticality of avoiding clashes. So you cannot do reference listing using Chicago, whereas when you go to intercitation, you are using Vancouver or MLA. So there are ways. If you do that, you only encounter that challenge if you are referencing manually. So reference generators are better than manual processes. It makes your life easy. The reference manager actually helps you to consult, review several documents at a time. For example, if you go to the reference manager, you can, on the search engine, you don't need to even read from one page to the other. If you want to look at, okay, is there any of these materials that is talking on non-DASI? You just download non-DASI. You could put them folder by folder on the reference manager. And if you want to search any document among the ones you have downloaded that is talking about non-DASI flow, just type non-DASI flow. It will take you to where non-DASI flow is in all of these documents. They are PDF, but you can actually copy and paste and properly cite them. So every serious research should minimize conference papers. It doesn't mean that conference papers don't have reputation or credibility. But not every conference paper, because the ease at which conference papers are accepted, it cannot be compared to when journal papers accept papers. There are papers that are turned down, they were accepted in conferences, but at publication, at the gate of journal publications, they didn't meet the requirement for publication. And you see subject matter experts actually review such papers. And so when they come online as published journal papers, of course, it holds credibility and it has its reputation, because you have a lot of people, professionals who are subject experts that actually review the document. For example, if you have any of your papers published in JPT as a journal paper, your credibility has actually increased compared to when it is only published as a conference paper. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of my presentation. I must stand by for questions and comment. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, sir. I can say it has been an eye-opener, and just want to request if you would allow us to share the slides as well as the recording, so that people can also go back whenever they need to just go through that process again, if that's okay.
Yeah, that is fine. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So please, if you have any question, you can raise your hand or use the chat box, whichever is comfortable for you. We have about 5 minutes more to 4, so please let's make it quick and snappy so we can enjoy the rest of our day having this wonderful learning session. Any question? Okay, Dr. Abi, your hand is up, so please you can go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, thank you again, Mr. Max, our able moderator. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, before I ask my question, I want to thank Engineer Mary again for this insightful experience. You know, you can agree with me that many of us have been writing, but struggling along all the way because of ignorance on what actually we should do. So thank you, sir. Thank you for accepting to share this, your journey with us. Thank you very much. So my question is, like I said, you know, when people don't know the right thing to do, they struggle all the way. Now, for those that have gone far into using the manual process in the referencing and what have you, is there any way they can go back to use this method you have just shared with us, or is it, and as well as correct the ones they have already, I mean, the citations they have already done manual before continue with their work, or is it that they just have to start halfway using your method? Thank you.
All right, thank you, Doctor. So this is not my method. I think the beauty of it is that knowledge is power. Anytime you get a new revelation, you run with it. I was also in that category until I was doing my research. Okay, so it is from all I know now is because this is what I've used for some of my researches. One beautiful thing about this is you don't need to manually go from page to page and try to either edit, delete, or do whatever you want to do. If you have these automated referencing managers, all right. So if you have progressed with your work, yes, probably you use your keypad to type the reference to cite. You wrote Smith and Lawrence 2022, put 2022 in bracket, and you left that line. You can actually go. So if all the documents that you have, you downloaded them, even if it's a textbook, if it's an online material, you downloaded them and saved them into the reference manager. You can replace all of the manual processes. And of course, when you are inserting your bibliography, it will be automated. And for example, if you are doing any manual stuff, right? If you delete any citation, any in-text citation, you still need to come back and delete from the referencing list. But if you do it automatically using the reference manager and the citation generators, you don't once you delete an in-text citation, it also deletes the reference listing automatically. So it's not too late to actually change, because if you don't do it now, you might present for a review and the comments are coming that, oh, don't use this. Instead of just deleting from one point, you'll be deleting from several places. I think it's something that we can actually do.
Okay, that's beautiful. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other question? Any other question? You can raise your hand or you can use the chat box. Okay, Dr. Obi, your hand is up again.
Yes, it's not really a question, but more of a charge to every one of us. This is if we could recall, last year we don't have a session like this, and I'm sure in previous years we also didn't have something like this. So this is a more of an innovative topic introduced in this year's programs of events. And very soon, SPE and various organizations will start calling for abstract submissions here and there, So, and like we said from the beginning, that these critical components of paper writing is quite vital. So please, I will beg every one of us, because the questions are not coming the way they're supposed to come. Probably they have understood very well, or were a bit confused in this area, because I know that we only look at the content, the structure, and what have you, So please, this is a charge. If you can take this recording as he has permitted us to go back and look at them critically and see what you can do in this, especially when it comes to these two components, before sending out those abstracts or what have you, because those calls will start coming very soon. Please, I charge every one of us, especially the academic researchers amongst us. Many a time you put up your work, at the end of the day, they will return with a whole lot of negative reviews here and there. Please, let's just be so mindful and appreciate that we have this opportunity for this lecture. It's not a vote of thanks, but just kind of a charge. Thank you very much again for this second opportunity to speak. Moderator, are you still here with us?
Yes, my apologies, but I was trying to sort out my audio device. Thank you very much for that charge. We take note of it. So please, we have one more hand up. We have Engineer Adebayo Ogunyemi's hand up. After that, we'll take the vote of thanks for today, then the group photograph, and we call it a day. So please, Engineer Adebayo, the floor is yours for your question. Hello, Engineer Adebayo, can you hear me? Your hand is up. Okay, I think that's probably network or an error. So we'll just move over to the vote of thanks. And I would like to invite our program's co-chair, Mr. Olawale Ajayi, to take the vote of thanks because our program chair took the welcome remark. So we'll just switch it up and welcome the program's co-chair to please give the vote of thanks. Mr. Wale, the floor is yours.
Okay,
So
thank you so much.
Ezekiel.
Okay.
Ezekiel's hand is up. I don't know.
Okay, so Mr. Ezekiel, you can ask a question if that's a question or a comment.
Okay. Good afternoon. Please, can you hear me? Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. We can hear you.
Up of the protocols duly observed. Mr. Mayor, I want to just thank you for this wonderful session. It's really impactful. So my question is this: why using referencing using the Mendeley's pattern, the Mendeley's way? If there's an updated reference, like as regards a point made during your work, and is now updated on the reference page, and let's say, for example, when updated, it doesn't reflect. What way can we solve this issue, and what are the implications? Let's say on the point made now in your work now, and you have a particular reference which has been in place or has been on your work, and there's a new reference, like there's a new updated point made on that same, that same subhead on your work. What could be the implication when like using this Mendeley's pattern? I don't know if you get my question.
Okay, let me try. Okay, so the question is, okay, you cited someone's work, version 01, but that version 01 has actually been reversed, so it's now version 02. So if this is your thesis, you can't do anything. You have submitted your thesis, school has accepted it, and nothing you can do. If it is your paper, you can't do anything. The paper has been accepted, and also you have presented the paper in the conference. Okay. Don't forget that there are versions, there are editions, there are versions for each of them. So if you properly cited the source that you have, the source document that you are talking about, it has a date, it has a year of publication. It probably also have edition. So all of that are well taken care of. So when you see somebody pick up your work and see, oh, this was the version that you used, oh, no wonder. But this same guy has actually provided us a newer, more innovative version. Yeah, people recognize that, and I don't think it's any challenge with that. Except probably is a work in progress. If is a work that you have done and you are still you have not done it and it's in progress, yes, you can reverse it. And if it is something that is a paper you have presented and a newer, a more improved solution is out, yeah, that is why sometimes if you do paper presentation in conferences,
you can actually upgrade that paper to journal publication. While you do that, when you review and revise it, yes, you can do those additional. Thank you very much. I don't know if that answers your questions.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. That was my question. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. So please we'll go back to Mr. Olawale, please, for the vote of thanks.
Okay, thank you so much, Maxwell, for the great job in moderating this session. So I'll be very brief. But first off, I would like to say a big thank you to our speaker. And I think this particular session or this particular technical session is one of those sessions that needs to be saved, uploaded if possible. I know there are plans by the section to start uploading our technical sessions on the website, and also it's something that can be referenced for a long time, because I know a lot of people have these issues around paper writing and referencing and all. And referencing is a very big part of writing papers. So thanks a lot for sharing from your wealth of experience. And I could say it's a very insightful exposition to the world of paper writing. And listening in again, although I joined in a bit late, but even the part I was able to listen attentively, it was quite insightful for me personally. And I'm sure that resonates with most of the persons on the call. So thanks a lot for sharing this. And I'm sure it's going to help going forward in paper writing, and especially technical paper writing. So also a big thanks to all of our attendees. Thank you for making yourself available to be part of this. If we don't have attendees, then whatever the speaker has to deliver will have little or no impact. So thanks for joining us. So just a reminder that we still have a lot of activities from the SP Benin section. We have the SP event by the SP Cares Committee tomorrow. And also we have the launch, joint ALP training trainer session across the sections in Nigeria. So please, let's make it a date to still participate in those. We have a lot of technical, professional, and also community-related activities for you this year. So just keep us that at any time you see a message from us, you definitely know that it's something exciting again from SP Benin City. So a big thanks again, and to all the committee members and volunteers on the call, and that has helped to make this possible. A big thanks to you too. So thank you very much, and I'll hand over back to the moderator. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. We've heard him. We have more events coming up tomorrow, and we have, starting from about 10 o'clock in the morning, we have an SP Cares outreach to the mother and health care along Airport Road. So if you're free, you could join us for that SP Cares visit. Later in the day, we'll be having a joint ALP trainer from SP Nigeria Council across those sections. We'll share the flyers across our social medias, and you can engage with us. So at this point, we'd like to take a group photograph. I want to see those wonderful looking faces. So if you're comfortable, if you're in a safe environment where you can turn on your video, please go ahead and turn on your video. We'll take a quick shot of our screens before we call it a day. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. If I see anyone that is looking better than me, I will just use my sticker to block your face. So please shine bright, shine bright, shine bright. Shine bright. Thank you very much. So I'll go with SPE 1, 2, 3, then we'll do thumbs up and I'll take the photo shots. So 1, 2, go. SPE. Cleaner energy. Nobody's responding. Nobody's responding. SPE.
Cleaner energy. Cleaner energy.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Do enjoy the rest of your day. See you at the next SPE event.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much, Maxwell.
Thank you, sir.